Hi, you're watching Leeds Student Television. I'm Daisy and today I am joined by the University of Leeds Women Cricket Club captain, Rachael Green. How are you today, Rachael?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good. So just to get straight into it, how did you get into cricket?
I think for a lot of people who've played, especially women who've played, it was like a family thing. Like I played, my brothers played, my dad played, and I kind of grew up actually quite unsafely on a cricket pitch, like watching my dad play. I don't think my mum paid enough attention to like where the really, really hard ball was going, but I enjoyed it. I think that got me into it when I was younger. And then I started properly playing when I was about probably 12 or 13. I started playing for a girls' team and then played for a boys' team for a few years. And
Did you have to play for a boys' team, or was it because you just
well,
got better and outgrown it? Or
I'd love to say it's because I was better. I was just too good for it.
Yeah, clearly.
No, at my school we didn't have a girls' team, and so I had to play for the boys' team at school. And then I also played for a boys' team with my brother, because if you're a girl, you're allowed to play two age groups below your age, basically. So
Right.
I played with him. It was a bit of a combination, yeah.
Yeah.
It just gave me more opportunity to play. And the girls' team was a very mixed ability, whereas the boys' team was more standardised.
Mm-hmm. And then when you got to uni, did you go straight for cricket, or did you do anything else?
I did netball for a while, but I just got very overwhelmed. It's like a huge society, and I kind of wanted someone where I'd know everyone. Mm-hmm. And so I think I started cricket like in the second or third week, but I was doing netball and cricket alongside each other at first. But yeah, there were too many teams and there was very intense trials in first year.
Yeah. How are you finding this year so far? Like, how's the team getting on?
Yeah, I think this year's a good year for us. When I first started, there were only, I think, 5 or 6 of us freshers. And then this year we've got about 40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like over the 4 years of being at uni, it's really like grown hugely. We've only had indoor matches. That's the thing with the cricket season, is it doesn't fall very well with uni. But we've had an indoor Bucks season, which went well. And then we're doing a few friendlies, and we've got the Christie Cup coming up.
Yeah, that's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did you get on at the Christie Cup last year? Because we were there for some of it.
I wasn't actually there. I was
right.
in Seoul last year. So
Oh, were you? I didn't realise.
Yeah, I did a year abroad in South Korea.
Will this be your first Christie Cup then? Because obviously, like, COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, exciting.
Feels funny for getting to your 4th year being club captain, being like, this is the first time I'm actually playing this. Like, the second years are having to tell me what's about,
going on.
basically.
No, that's exciting. Yeah. So you've got on quite well this year, and you were saying recruitment's been good. Do you think that's because, obviously, like, women in sport has been pushed a lot more recently? You think of the Euros and stuff. Mm-hmm. Do you think that is part of the reason, or do you think it's just naturally getting bigger as a club?
I think women's cricket is going to like exponentially grow from now, basically, because they started like an English cricket board set up for girls when I was maybe like 15 or 16. So it means if people a few years younger than me were able to play in that, they had the support from a younger age. And so it was just like, yeah, exponential growth. I think it will carry on being more girls and like each year being involved. I'd love to say it was all to do with like our marketing or social media or something, maybe a combination, but I think mostly it's because of the setup at a younger age that we have now.
Yeah, and how do you find it being a leader in a like female sport? Because obviously there's a lot of barriers in place for women in sport, and it's something that we're kind of looking at this year at LSTV. We've interviewed a lot of different women athletes. So have you found there's been any difficulties, or you've ever felt that you've been treated slightly differently because of the fact you're a woman?
I think in a sport that's perhaps traditionally like a male sport, you have that difficulty like naturally. So like things like not being able to play in school. So it's quite nice when you get to uni and there is the setup. I think we kind of exist quite separately from the men's club. We kind of have some overlap, but so we don't tend to have that direct comparison in the same way that I had at a younger age, which is quite nice. And it's nice that we all have the shared experience of having been probably playing in boys' teams when we were younger and feeling like there were a lot of barriers to now having a lot less barriers when we're at uni, and it feeling a kind of familiar and safe environments for playing. It's really nice.
Yeah, and are there any sort of societies that you work closely with in cricket? Do you just kind of stick to each other, or do you, because I see like American football and cheer, for example, will always do a random rogue joint social.
Yeah.
Do you guys do you do much with the men's cricket team, or is it you guys?
We had a charity ball with them last Friday.
Wow.
That was like both of us, our clubs, like an alumni and stuff, like raising money, which is really good. And we do have a couple of other links to do with like training. We share slots and things like that. We share the nets at Headingley. So you know them, and we have a rogue social actually coming up with men's basketball on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Something really random like that.
Yeah.
What's the theme of that?
It's Beer Olympics. It's like something where, I don't know, you were all given
What's
like...
that?
I'm a fourth year, I don't understand these things anymore.
Beer Olympics?
No, it's like you put into different nations, everyone, and like, so someone might be like France, someone's like Great Britain, and then you have to do different like games between each other. But obviously it's a social as well, so that's why it's the Beer Olympics.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's kind of competitive.
I might ask if we can do that next.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, Beer Olympics.
Got an idea.
And
you
then
can
just
pass it off as sport.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. I can say it's a sport video.
Yeah.
Just finally, any advice that you would have for either your younger self or a younger woman trying to get into cricket and sport in general?
I think cricket and actually sport in general with women, not to doubt yourself when you're kind of, if you are the only woman in a situation or the only girl, like, you know, playing in a all boys team. I think the expectation is that you have to basically be better to prove yourself, and to not, even if you have a bad day or, you know, you don't feel like you are that much better, not to doubt that, and like think it's okay to be here, and it's okay to like kind of do your thing, like play your game, and not kind of have to prove yourself constantly. And I think that probably applies to like football or rugby perhaps as well. Yeah, not to doubt your own skills when you're being directly compared to boys.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Rachel.
Yeah, thank you for having me.